Ladies and gentlemen, Geri Petito.
I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. And in time, this too shall pass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Geri Petito taught the class. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Loves the answer, the greener grass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. One day at a time, free at last.
When you don't know just what to do.
Just what to do, just what to do.
If what you're feeling is really true.
Is really true, is it really true?
Just keep your ideas safe and sound.
Safe and sound, safe and sound.
That's exactly how change is found.
Change is found, change is found. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. And in time, this too shall pass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Geri Petito taught the class. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Loves the answer, the greener grass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. One day at a time, free at last.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Geri Petito Show on Hamilton Radio. Everyone and anyone who knows me knows I am the author of I'm Not an Addict, I'm Just an Ass. I'd rather be a smartass than a dumbass, guys, because guess what? 32 years ago today, July 27th, okay, I was a dumbass, and I'm now celebrating 32 years of being a smartass. Today is my 32nd anniversary of changing my life. So I am honored to be here today, and I just want to let everybody know that, we've all had the roughest few years of our lives, right? And unfortunately, some didn't make it, and especially through addiction. So I'm here to help you, and somebody is listening. I'm a recovery coach, and I'm a nutritional health coach. All my services to you are free. If anyone thinks my book will help them, because I do, you can go right to Simon & Schuster's bookstore, Archway Publishing, BAM, Amazon, Barnes & Noble. And guys, listen, if you truly, truly, truly can't afford my book, please reach out to me about that as well. So, guys, I just want to give a shout out to a couple of my sponsors. Okay? So my first sponsor is Michael D'Amore. He's an incredible, incredible singer, and his website is www.michaeldamore.com. You can download his songs for $1.99. You won't be sorry, guys. And I found out that he's a Happy Days nerd. I didn't know that, okay? So Michael D'Amore, guys. I'd also like to give a shout out to Brian Buckinfuso. His name is Bucky in Robbinsville. He's a retired police officer, and he's running for Mercer County Sheriff. So please, please, please vote for him if you live in Mercer County. And then finally, SOS for Life, guys. Their second annual benefit event, Christmas Feels Like Home, held at the Vinyl Lab in Nashville, December 9th. Their website, www.christmasfeelslikehome.com. And go to this website as well, www.sos4life.org. Every bit of their proceeds, guys, goes to help children. All children in need, no matter what they are, physical, mental, whatever it is. Okay, so SOS for Life, guys. So, having said all that, I bring it, right? Well, honey, we are bringing it today. This guy right here is my guest co-host. His name is Doc G. He's the original owner of Hamilton Radio. Say hello.
Hello, everybody. How you doing? And I love Geri. Geri just brings the best guests on, I swear.
So this guy right here started Hamilton Radio like 23 years ago?
27 years ago.
27 years ago in his
basement. It's hard to
basement.
believe, but 27 years ago.
In his basement. Okay, and this is where I started. I'm on several networks, but this is where I started, and this is where I'll end, okay? Hamilton Radio, baby. But, Doc G, normally I'd let you introduce.
You're good. You're good. Go ahead.
I have to.
This is all you.
Okay?
Go ahead.
This is me, baby. So, guys, we have with us someone absolutely incredible. He's a legend. And, I don't care about telling my age. I'm 62. So when I grew up, guess what shows I was watching? Well, the biggest one was Happy Days, okay? So we've got an iconic, legendary actor here, okay, from Happy Days. But this is not just about Happy Days today, okay? Donny Most, Ralph Malph, say hello to everyone.
Hey, everybody. Great to be with you, Geri. And nice to meet you, Doc G.
Thank you, Don.
This is incredible. I got to meet you and hug you. Me and Ruben, the other producer, he's doing the show for us today, with Rick Shepard. Let's give a shout out to Rick Shepard, baby.
Yeah.
Okay, one of the original drifters, man.
Yeah, Rick was great. He's a great, great guy, great singer, and he's kind of responsible for getting us together
That's
today.
right. That's right. Tell everyone a little bit about you singing with him that night.
Oh yeah, that was in Long Branch.
That's right.
I think it was right Long Branch, New Jersey, or right in that area.
Yeah, something.
And I Rick and I we had the same manager, and we were trying to get something going together, and I don't know if everyone was doing different things, and it was hard. But then this was the first time we did. We got together. I sang a set, before. It was an outdoor venue, and it was the first time I got to meet Rick, and just the sweetest, nicest guy. And what a blast it was to open up for the Drifters. I mean, that was very, very cool.
So what was so incredible for me was not only did I get to hug Rick for the first time, because I knew him for a while, and I interviewed him several times, and I got to finally hug him, and then I got to meet you and hug you, and we got all our photos, and I was on cloud 9, okay, I got to tell you. And then he brought me on stage. Come on, Rick, we love you, man. Get out, okay? So, shout out. I love you. Now, Doc G, I know you're dying, okay? I'm going to let you say
I'm
something
not
now.
dying.
Come on,
I'm
baby.
just-
Come on.
Listen, I love this man. I watched him growing up, like you said, going to school, turned on Happy Days, you were there. What inspired you to even start acting and getting in the entertainment industry?
Well, I was, I was in camp. I did some plays when I was really young, and just kind of got into it very young. Then I saw the movie, The Jolson Story, when I was 9 years old on do you remember $1 Million Movie? Do you remember $1 Million Movie?
Yeah.
In Brooklyn, it was Channel 9, and they would show a movie for the entire week, twice a night during the week, and 4 times Saturday, 4 times Sunday. So that was the one movie featured the entire week. So I saw The Jolson Story on the Monday night, and it had a profound impact on me. His talent, the music itself, the movie, did a great job of Larry Parks played Jolson, and there was something, the magic that he had, and it hit me like I said, in a deep way. I wound up watching it like every night, twice. I think I watched it 14 times that week. And that's when it was born in me. I wanted to get out and belt out the songs like Jolson. So initially it was more about the singing initially. And when I was about 13, my parents realized how much I wanted to do it, and they found a school in Manhattan. I would take the subway in on Saturdays and go to this school. It was run by an old vaudevillian named Charlie Lowe, and catered to a lot of kids and teenagers for singing, dancing, and acting. And from that, I got picked to be in a troupe or a little review. 8 of us from the ages of 14 to 16. I was 14, turning 15, and we sang in the nightclubs in the Catskill Mountains that summer. So I thought I'd made it. That was big time for me. And so that was sort of the beginning. And then about the next year, I really shifted my focus into acting. I was seeing all these great movies that were sort of a renaissance time in the independent film world in the late 60s. And that really inspired me. And then I got serious about the acting and went to a really good school teacher for that. And then through her, I met my manager. She recommended me to this manager. And then I started getting work in New York, a lot of commercials and little TV, but most of it was in LA. So that's why I went out to LA after the summer after my junior year in college. And I didn't quite make it back for my senior year.
So I want to give a quick shout out to Debbie Staub Meadows. She's listening and watching. And listen, I got to hug her that night too with Rick Shepard. So we love you, Debbie. You were a great connection for me. So yeah. So now, Donny, back in the day, okay, when you started with Happy Days,
Yeah.
what was that like for you on a different level, not the acting level, on a personal level, like with the girls and with your friends and school, like what was it like? Because that was
Yeah.
one of the biggest shows ever.
Yeah. Well, it didn't become number one until the third season. As a matter of fact, we almost didn't get picked up after the second season, but we did. And but I mean, what you're asking, yes, it was a huge transformation. It was like I walked into the twilight zone. I mean, your life just changes completely. I didn't have, I didn't know very many people, almost nobody when I went out to Los Angeles the summer of '73. And so when Happy Days came on, it's not like all my friends were back east. All my friends were back at Lehigh University, where I was going to school in Pennsylvania, and all my other friends in Brooklyn and family was all there in the tri-state area. So, so this became my new family, the Happy Days people. But yeah, it was crazy. It was a crazy, 20 years old, and all of a sudden you get to where now people are recognizing you wherever you go, and you mentioned girls. That changed, that where maybe I used to have to work at it a little bit, it became a little easier in that regard. So, so many things, like you said, on the personal level, not the acting side. It took getting used to. I mean, it was great in many ways, exciting, but that can be deceiving because what happens? You can get sucked into believing all the hype, or believing, your sense of reality gets shifted, and so there's a real adjustment period of dealing with that, because when that sudden kind of fame can be, I'm just thank God it happened when I was 20. I was already, a young adult. I'd been in college for 3 years. You kind of establish your identity somewhat by then. If I was like 12, 13, 14, it's tough. It's a tough adjustment, and it can get to your head and lead to all kinds of problems, as we've seen with people in that age. So, but I did go through some periods where, I had to pull myself back. I realized I was getting caught up in all of the fame stuff. So it took a little while, and finally I think I found a good center. And people like Ron Howard helped a lot, because Ron was a star already. He was a star since he was a kid. So he set a great example for us, because he was so down to earth and real, and he wasn't getting, all Hollywood on anybody. So if he wasn't, then why should we, or could we? So he was a great role model. And then our Jerry Paris, our director, was a fantastic mentor and role model, and Gary Marshall. They kept us kind of centered.
So I have a question for you then. Okay. We loved all the characters, but I mean, everyone talked about you. Okay? I mean...
Well, yeah, maybe some guy called the Fonz, maybe a little
No,
bit
no,
here.
no, listen, the Fonz was for the girls. The
Right.
Fonz was for most of the girls, the older girls. But I'm just going to tell you, growing up, everyone in the family talked about you.
Oh, yeah?
I mean, because, and everybody that I've talked to and said I'm going to be interviewing you, they're going crazy. They're going
that's
crazy. They can
great.
recite things that you did on Happy Days.
I love that.
I still got it, he used to say. Remember, I still got it?
Okay, I mean, like, think about it.
Still
So,
got it.
like the Fonz was the Fonz, and he was the coolest, and he was like sexy and all that. But people, when they watched Happy Days and it was about you, forget it. Okay, that's all I'm going to tell you. So,
I love that. Well, and the thing is, Ralph was the major, comedian, class clown,
that's
whatever.
why, right?
But in real life, I was the furthest thing from that. I was pretty shy, and when I was in high school, I was like the quiet, straight guy for some of the friends who were cracking the jokes. I was their audience. I was not that guy. But, that's what acting is, and that's what I loved about it. And I drew upon people that I knew that were, that I imagined for this character. And that's how that kind of came about.
But you made everyone laugh, and it brought something out in you as well.
Yeah.
So that's what was so amazing about that.
Yes,
And,
you're right.
And okay, you sent a message for me as a favor to this young guy, Aiden. This kid's in college, and he's a fan of yours. And he was like, "Oh my gosh, Jer, please, I would love it." I said, "I'm going to get you an autograph from him. Don't worry." And I sent it to him today, and he's going crazy. And he's a college kid, okay?
Yes, I love that our show has been introduced from one generation to so many generations, because we came on, in 74, and then after 7, 8 years, well, the show ran 11. I did the first 7, but then we started going on in syndication for a long time. So then another generation of kids in grade school and high school started watching us, and then it continued, and then it was on at Nickelodeon, and then there was another generation, and there's still, from in the last 20 years, it's still playing on like 5 different channels. So I love that, and that it's being introduced to new generations, and it's still a show that the family could watch together and really enjoy together.
So, like, if you're out somewhere, okay, you're in a mall, you're shopping, whatever, do people stop you?
Used to be lots,
Okay.
back in the day, yes. So couldn't go anywhere without that happening. It started, dissipating over the years. Then there was a resurgence, when it was coming out on Nickelodeon and some other channels. And then it got sort of, hyped again. But now, and I'm a little bit older now, certainly. So it happens once in a while, but not frequently. It's kind of in a mellow, very low key way. So, but that's cool.
Okay. So, we have some of your songs. Oh, before we play your song, we've got a fan calling. Hold on.
All right.
Okay, so Ina Vasquez and her husband Carlos, he's an incredible Latin singer. They're listening, and they have to say hello. Say hello, Ina.
Hi, this is just so exciting.
Oh, hi, Ina. Nice to talk with you.
So why don't you tell him what you texted me? I love him.
I wanted to say I adore you. I love you. And I wanted to wish you an early, happy, big birthday that's coming.
Uh-oh.
Oh, thank you so much. That's very sweet. I appreciate that so much. Where do you live? Where are you calling from?
Where do you live, Ina? He wants to know.
I live in Staten Island, New York.
All right. All right. That's great. Well, thank you for calling in and sharing those sentiments with me. It means a lot.
There you
And
go.
Bob Hope said, thank you for the memories.
There you go, baby. Thank
Yes.
you, Ina and Carlos. Love you, lady. All right. Bye. So cool.
I got another friend that reached out to me.
Go ahead.
His name is Chance McFadden. He's a great guy. He's actually a musician, Donny, that's been with Glenn Campbell in the Wrecking Crew and stuff like that. And he just said he wanted to say hi to you.
It's right
Oh,
there.
nice. Is he on?
Well, no, he just texted me.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. What's his first name again?
His name is Chance.
Oh, Chance.
Yeah.
All right. Well, please send him my best regards and tell him I appreciate, from a musician to another musician, appreciate his feelings and all that. Thank you.
Sure, I'll give him a plug too. He runs Fort Madison Guitars, and anybody needs guitars, he's got them all. So
Oh,
he
wow,
sells them.
very
Yeah,
cool.
he's another sponsor of ours as well. Okay.
Cool.
Great.
So let's surprise everyone. Producer, let's play one of Donnie's songs. Okay.
Which one are we listening
Well,
to?
I'll tell you what. We'll play it, and then you'll talk about it. Because he
Okay,
surprises me.
Okay. Yeah. I'll see which CD it's from. I'll let me hear.
Okay.
I got an itch, my baby's gonna roll right in my arms. Cried last night, crying the night before. Cried last night, crying the night before. I came away living so I won't have to cry no more. Going away, baby, get the worrying off my mind. Going away, baby, get the worrying off my mind. If I stay around here, I'll be in trouble all the time. Get mighty lonesome sleeping by myself. I get mighty lonesome sleeping by myself. When the woman I'm loving sleeping with somebody else. I wonder who cares if I'm rolling on. Yes, I wonder who cares if I'm rolling on. When the cat next door is home laying in her arms. Well, it makes me mad, mad as I can be. So mad, and I get tired of me. I'm wondering right now when my baby is thinking about me. Well, alright, I love to sing the blues. I get mad walking in these low-down shoes. I love the way my baby sings the blues. I say, baby, 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 everything's really alright. Step right in, I wanna hold you tight. I wanna love you, baby, love you with all my might. I say yes, yes, I say yes, yes. No more low-down shoes. I love the way my baby sings the blues. I wanna squeeze her, tease her, hold her in my arms. I wanna hold her, squeeze her, hold her in my arms. Loving with my baby, I'm loving all her charms. I cried all night long, I don't have to cry no more. I cried all night long, I don't have to cry no more. There's my baby, she's walking in my back door.
Hey, hold on. So, before we talk about that song, we have another, I don't know, Happy Days geek on the phone. He's a huge fan of yours. Say hello.
Donny, how are you? Michael Diamore from the Capris.
Hey, Michael Diamore, how are you? Nice to talk
I
with
am
you.
fantastic. It's so good to talk to you. My God, I don't know if I'd say geek. I think I'd say nerd.
All right, nerd.
Better to say.
Oh wow, I've been hearing so many great things about you, Michael. I'm
Don't
gonna have
believe
to
anything.
have to see you in person one of these days.
That's right.
I'm looking forward to it. I hope I can catch one of your shows when you swing down by me, or if I'm in before you're playing.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Awesome.
Yep.
Where are you based?
I live down in Southwest Florida.
Oh, okay. Oh, cool.
Originally
Cool.
Staten Island.
Well,
Oh.
New York,
Yeah.
New Jersey, and now I live down in Florida.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I've been down there a lot. Southwest Florida. Oh, okay.
Yeah, down to
So,
Harper B. Man, Van Wezel, those theaters. Did
uh-huh.
I see you
Okay,
at the
cool.
Black Box in Boca?
Yeah, I was at the Black Box once or twice. I think twice. That was fun. That was a lot of fun.
That's what I play there regularly as well. That's one of the places I have to come catch you at when you're.
Oh, wow, yes.
Yeah.
And I want photos of you guys hugging.
How about standing next to each other? Is
All right, I know deep down you want to hug each other. Come on.
Donnie, it is a pleasure. I look forward to getting together.
So do I, Michael. That'd be terrific. Hope it's soon.
All right. Michael, thanks for stopping your gig and calling in. All right.
Oh, I appreciate it, guys. You have fun. I'll talk to you soon.
Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Oh, that's cool. I'm so glad he got to do that. So now,
That's great. That's great.
Michael Demore, we love you. So now, let's talk about that song first and foremost.
Okay. That one is on the upcoming CD, and it was released as we released a couple of singles before the full CD gets released, and this was the second one, and it's on iTunes and probably Spotify and all that kind of stuff, so people could check it out. Or, well, you just heard it. It's called "I Love the Way My Baby Sings the Blues," and I'd heard it. The producer and I were going through a lot of different song choices, and the CD before that I did was with a big band, big band swing and like the Sinatra kind of stuff, which I always loved, and Dean Martin and all of the greats. And for this one, the producer's named Tony Mantor. It's based in Nashville, actually, where we recorded this in Nashville.
Okay.
And he said he thought it'd be good to do. I could still do a lot of the jazz standards, but maybe with a more contemporary setting, not the big band, more like just the rhythm section and some nice solos, maybe a trumpet or saxophone, but not the big band. And so I thought that would be, I hadn't done that as much. So I thought it'd be a really neat challenge. And it turned out really great. And we added some songs that were really even jazz standards. There's one that was made famous by "Oh Baby Baby," Smokey, right? Was that Smokey?
Yes, it was.
God,
Yeah.
Smokey, and then a song "Smoke from a Distant Fire," which was hit by the Sanford Townsend Band in the '70s. So we kind of sprinkled a few other styles in there as well. So it was a really interesting combination, and I heard that this song, a great old blues singer named Big Joe Turner sang that. I heard him singing it with a group called Roomful of Blues. And I played it for my producer, and we both said, yeah, let's do this one. This one would be a blast. And it was.
Amazing. I mean, listen, guys. Yes, I got to hear him sing personally. Yes, on stage. Sorry, but yes, don't be jealous. And I got to hug him. You want to ask him another question? I know you.
Yeah, I got a lot of questions to ask you, but I asked Chance to call in a little bit after 6, so he's going to try to call in for you, okay?
Oh, cool.
And you can talk to him. But I wanted to ask you, Don, your interaction with all the other characters, did they ever ask you to improv in between takes? Did they,
Oh, not really. I mean, if that during the bulk of the show, we shot it in front of an audience with 3 cameras. So the first 2 years we didn't shoot it; we shot it more like a movie. But the bulk of the years, what we did was we rehearsed all week and then did the show, like I said, in front of an audience. So, if any ideas came up that were not in the script, some of that would happen during the rehearsal period, and somebody would come up, maybe improvise a little bit or riff on something. But we stuck to the script a lot. But there were a lot of things some great ideas that came up during rehearsal, and then we would talk to the writers, and they'd rewrite some things to fit what we were talking about. But once you're going on Friday night, everything had to run like clockwork, and there wasn't a lot of improvising during the filming of a show. Although you brought up a line that I improvised one night that nobody knew was coming. And what happened, nobody knew was coming. It was a scene where Ralph was in Arnold's and around a bunch of the guys, and he cracked some kind of joke. And then I said to Ron before we shot the scene, I said, get ready, because when we get to this part of the script, I'm going to do something that's not in the script. I just wanted to, I didn't want to throw him. So I gave him forewarning. I didn't tell him what I was going to do, but then I cracked the joke and they start cracking up. And then for the first time it was ever spoken, I said, I still got it. That was the first time. And they all loved it, because that line was something that our director, Geri Petito, who was a brilliant comedic director and actor, he was like, I would base certain things on him, because he was always cracking jokes, funniest guy. And he used to say, I still got it, and so I decided I was going to use that. And they all went nuts. And then the writers started putting it in more and more. And then it became, kind of my
thing.
That's all. I got another follow-up, too, real quick.
Thing.
A follow-up real quick. Pat Morita, who played Arnold, did you ever think that he was going to be as successful as he was with The Karate Kid? Because he was just a comedian, right? L.A. comedian?
Yeah, that was a pretty big transformation and a pleasant, a wonderful surprise. Yeah, I mean, I didn't see that coming from Pat, from what I knew, from knowing Pat as I did and working with him. Although I do have to say, I spent some time with Pat, we'd have dinner and drinks sometimes. And I did see a different side of him. So it didn't come as a total shock, but still, I wasn't quite prepared. I mean, he did a fantastic job with that character. And talk about transformation, that was a big one.
So why don't we play our second tune, producer, and then we'll talk about it, Donny.
Sounds good.
All right, here we go.
Paradise. You pulled the rug right out from under my life. I know where you're going to. I knew when you came home last night. 'Cause your eyes had a mist from the smoke of a distant fire. Stung, should have seen it come a long time ago. When I realized the reality gave me a roll. If things are the same, then explain why your kiss is so cold. And that mist in your eyes feels like rain on the fire in my soul. This lying, crying, upsetting will get you nowhere. It don't stack up, so slack up, pack up, I just don't care. Don't let the screen door hit you on your way out. Don't you drown when your dreamboat runs onto the ground. Will get you nowhere. It don't stack up, so slack up and back up. I just don't care. the screen door hit you on your way out. Don't you drown when your dreamboat runs onto the ground. I'd just like to know, do you love him or just making time? By filling his glass with your fast-flowing, bittersweet wine. He'll taste the aftertaste when you come home late some night. With your eyes all mist from the smoke. With your eyes all mist from the smoke. With your eyes all mist from the smoke. Of a distant
Before we talk about that song, we got another surprise caller for you. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah?
Chance McFadden, say hi to Don Most.
Hi, Don. How are you?
I missed the name. I'm sorry. Who am I speaking with?
Chance McFadden.
Oh, Chance. Hey, Chance. Nice to talk with you.
I'm having a real hard time hearing you, but it's an honor to speak with you. And I will tell you, big fan of the Happy Days show. And it was a part of our family. Every night that it was on, we watched it, and we still watch it on the reruns. And I do think that the casting was amazing. And, you know, what else can I say? I mean, you're a legend, you know.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Chance. It's very kind of you. We did. The casting was fabulous. It was I have to give Gary Marshall and the other producers a lot of credit for putting together that group of people, the way it all came together, the chemistry, and not only professionally but personally. We all just really respected each other and grew to love each other, and that came through in the show, I'm sure. So you're right, great casting, and I hear that you've played with a lot of legendary musicians yourself. So I'd love to check out some of your recordings as well.
Well, if you want to hear me, the best place to hear me, because I've got 2 solo albums, I'm going to bring them to the station, but the best place to hear me is the album that I didn't get any credit for when I was a kid. And that is, if you listen to a band out of Chicago, it was called Baby Huey and the Babysitters. They only had 1 album, and the lead singer died shortly after the album was made. But it was a legendary album, and I was honored to play on it.
Oh, wow.
Wow. I'll definitely have to check it out. Baby Huey and the Babysitters?
Yep, and it's got the face of a big, heavy-set black gentleman, and his name was Ramey. And I worked with the band during a transitional period, and they were getting a few white cats in, the band, and some of the other cats were leaving, and I was kind of an intern / roadie, and then they found out I could play, and then all of a sudden, hey, you're on,
Oh, wow. Well, that's cool. That's like the old Hollywood Broadway, like what do you call it? The person who's the understudy. The understudy.
Yeah,
goes on.
Pretty much, yeah. And then I stayed with them through the death, and then I went to stick with them for about a year afterwards, and it was quite an experience. I'm sure glad I didn't get into the heavy stuff like all of them did, But it was an experience of a lifetime, just like the experience of a lifetime you must have felt with Happy Days. It's I mean, even when you guys had a change of cast, it was still magical.
Yes, it was. Hi, Chance. This is Geri Petito. Yes, it was magical.
How are ya?
It was magical, baby.
Yeah, I mean, I watched every episode. I mean, and it was just phenomenal. It's part of Americana. You should be very proud, You helped define one thing that you helped define was you helped define the American family, and American family can be defined as a group of people who aren't necessarily related necessarily, but a group of people who all have common interests, common goals, common camaraderie. So that's something you'll be remembered out throughout eternity. You are so fortunate to do that.
Amazing.
Yeah, very incredibly fortunate. Sometimes it seems like it was a dream, like it wasn't real.
Chance, I'm going to have to let you go, buddy, because we got to finish the interview. But thanks
Chance,
for calling
thank you.
All right, you guys take care.
All right,
God
sweetheart.
bless you, Donny, and God bless Jerry and Gene. God bless.
Bye, Chance. Thank you.
God bless.
Okay,
Thanks.
bye-bye.
Thank you.
Cool.
Bye-bye.
So that was so cool. So Donny, tell us about that song we just played.
Yeah, well, I actually alluded to it earlier. When I was going through songs with Tony, the producer, and I don't know what, I probably heard it on the radio that one day or something, and I always loved that tune, and I thought it was the vocals on it were incredible, and the playing on it was great, and the song itself I loved. So I played it for Tony, and then I think it was his idea. He said, he had heard it once done where they slowed it down and almost into like a blues kind of a thing. So I said, oh, really? That would be interesting. So, we talked about that. I think I heard another version of it in that style. And I said, yeah, let's do that, because I don't want to compete with what Sanford and Townsend did. They did such a great rendition of that. So we had to do something a little different. And it works really well as a kind of bluesy, blues rock kind of song.
It does. It's amazing. So before we play your next tune, we have a question for you from Doc G's wife, Sandy. She'd like to know what musicians influenced you growing up.
Yeah, well, big time. I mean, I loved all the greats. I mentioned Sinatra and Tony Bennett, Joe Williams, who was the singer with the Count Basie band, and some of the great female jazz singers like Ella Fitzgerald and Dinah Washington and Sarah Vaughan. But my main guy, who as big a star as he became, was still underrated and not most people don't know for the breadth of the talent that he had, and that is Bobby Darin. Bobby was my...
Oh, my gosh. Bobby Darin. Come on, baby.
Yeah, Bobby was my guy. I saw him at the Copacabana when I was 18 years old, and forget about it.
Forget about it, baby.
Yes. So Bobby was... I listened to him, all of his albums over and over, and on the previous album that I did with a big band, I did one of the songs that he did. I said, I can't do Mac. I can't do Mac the Knife. It's sacrilege. I can't do it. But there was another song that Bobby did that was a very similar style. He followed up Mac the Knife with it. It was called Clementine. And he took that old song.
Oh, yes.
And he would swing it. So I did Clementine on the previous album, which is called Mostly Swinging.
Oh,
and so you can check that out.
Mostly Swinging. I love that.
Yeah.
So, all right. I have a question for you now. Be careful how you answer this, baby.
All
okay.
right.
So, music is a must for you to keep your joy, baby, especially if it's Elvis, honey, because Elvis is my boy. What'd you think of the King?
Oh, I loved Elvis. When I was about that same age, 9, 10 years old, there was a movie that he did that I thought, some of his movies, they became pretty formulaic and all that. But this movie was really, really good. And the songs that he did in it were amazing. It's called King Creole.
Oh, come on,
did you ever see King Creole?
Who you talking to?
All right.
Sweet pea.
Well, that was a great one,
Yes.
don't you think?
Yes. Crawfish. Now, I can't sing, okay? But come on. that song
Yeah.
was in there.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah. So anyway,
All right, so I want to ask you one more before we play this song, because this is a question I love asking my legendary entertainers. I'm sure you've met so many people, okay? But was there anyone in particular that really struck you, that you were like, I got to meet this person, and was there someone you never got to meet that you wish you could have?
oh wow, that's a great question. The one person that really stood out, and I did meet, I've met a lot, but when I talked earlier about my transition from the singing when I was young into more serious acting, with the renaissance of movies going on, the guy who influenced me tremendously, and you wouldn't know this because, from the role I play in Happy Days, it's night and day in many ways. But I saw a movie I was 17, called 5 Easy Pieces, starring Jack Nicholson.
Oh my gosh.
And it was right after, he actually did that after Easy Rider, but it came out before. But then I saw Easy Rider, and then I saw, all the other ones, The Last Detail, Carnal Knowledge, and then, of course, Chinatown, and all on and on. So he was he like Bobby was my guy in music. Yeah. Jack was my guy in acting. I loved Jack. And while they were shooting at the same studio, we were at Paramount Studios, they're shooting Chinatown.
Here we go.
They're shooting Chinatown, and I said, oh my God, they're shooting over on this other stage. And I went over, I'm in my outfit from the 50s, and it says closed set. Nobody's allowed if you're not working on it. But I just said, the hell with that.
You're Donny Most, baby. Come on.
So I went in there, and I'm standing around, and I'm like, and people figure I belong there because I'm kind of in a wardrobe. It's in the 30s, Chinatown. Mine was close enough. So I got by, and then I got by, and then all of a sudden I see Jack, on the set, and he walked. Afterwards, he walks right by me, kind of looks at me, like, who is that guy? And I thought that was it. I thought, I got to see Jack. But then I start walking around the back, behind the set and around the site, and then all of a sudden the door opens, and Jack comes, and I'm like a deer in headlights. But then he says hello to me, and he kind of walks over, and had this incredible conversation for about 20 minutes about movies, about acting.
Amazing.
That was it. I was in heaven. I went back to that, and I told Ron Howard about it, and that was an amazing moment for me.
So, was there anyone in particular you didn't get to meet?
Well, yeah, there's a bunch that I didn't get to meet. I didn't get to meet James Dean, right? And I didn't get to meet Paul Newman.
Okay.
Paul Newman, and or Dustin Hoffman, for that matter, who maybe still can meet.
So, why don't we play your final song?
Okay. You're not going to tell me which one we'll talk about after again?
We'll listen to it and then we'll talk about it, because I don't... Ruben, go ahead, play the song and then we'll talk about it. I'm not sure. Okay. Here we go.
New York is getting me high. Girls by the Star Club have been catching my eye. Moonbeams dance on a Waldorf hotel. Could it be I've fallen under a New York spell? Downtown Manhattan's shining reflections of those New York bars. George M. Cohan, another Times Square sky. Could it be I'm dancing on a New York high? Norman Rockwell, you're the most. Paint me in the picture post. Oh, New York, you've opened my eyes. Stepping out on Broadway and I'm high as the skies. Rogers and Hammerstein, and it's plain to see why. Could it be I'm dancing on a New York high? Coney Island Beach for me. Marlon Brando teaching me. Oh, New York, thanks for the ride. I'm on the Staten Island ferry, going out with a tide. Hey, New York, the apple of my eye. Could it be I'm dancing on a New York high? Could it be I'm dancing on a New York high?
Amazing, amazing. Tell us about New York, my kind of town, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, that's going to be the third single. I'm hearing myself with an echo. Are you hearing me twice?
I think we're hearing. Yeah, we're having a little tech issue. Producer,
All right.
do you hear
All
what
right.
we're hearing? All right, come out here a minute then, please.
We believe we're having a Wi-Fi issue, but it could be an audio issue with the
Yes,
Wi-Fi
we're
too.
not sure. There's a delay in when he speaks. Go ahead, talk, Donnie. I said, did you hear what we're hearing? You said no.
Okay, so that we actually are calling the CD. That's the title of the CD, New York,
Right.
Okay.
Right.
and it's going to be the third single. They're both going to come out in mid to late August, I think, and so this was the one original song, and it just seemed like a great time to do it. I'm back, back on a New York high. After all the craziness that gone on during COVID and all that, it just seemed like a great time to do this song.
Perfect. So, Donnie, we're getting ready to close the show. We have a couple more minutes left. Doc G would like to tell you he'd like to play all your music.
Absolutely, I would. If you send whatever MP3s you have, Donnie, whatever ones you want to run, just send them to me, and I'll be glad to play them.
Oh, okay.
I usually play that kind of music on a Sunday, but I can play it anytime, really.
Okay.
All right, cool. I'll definitely. I'll send them.
I'll send
to
you,
Jerry
and I'll
Yeah,
send
yeah,
you.
sure,
Yeah, you
send
can
you
send
my
them to
email
me.
and you just-
can
yeah.
send them to me. I'll send them to him or whatever. Now, Donnie,
Okay.
we want to give you
All
the
right,
mic. We want to give you the mic. Is there anything that you might have said, oh, I forgot to say this, or I want to talk about this? We were so excited to have you that we had so many questions.
Still got more.
The mic is yours.
Oh, okay. Well, I should mention, been doing a lot of acting these days too. I've done about, 7, 8 films in the last 3 years. And you people could see I did a film called County Line, No Fear.
It's getting better.
I play a career criminal, but there's some fun humor. There's another movie and that's on Amazon Prime and other platforms. And then people could check out Lost Heart. I play a local pastor, and then I play an attorney, a defense attorney, a wounded vet, in Man's Best Friend. And September 3rd is the premiere of a Western, my very first Western. It's called Far Haven. And that'll be on there's a channel called Cowboy Way or something like that. But then it'll come out on the rest of the platforms probably short. So, and I'm doing another film in September, playing the head of a Jewish mob in the. So that's going to be an interesting role. I'm looking forward.
That is so cool. Now tell everyone again the title of your new album.
Yes, the title of the new album coming out in August is New York High.
So, well, Donny, listen, I want to thank you. Guys, did you give your website?
Oh, yeah, and I need to update it. I'm glad you reminded me. But it's realdonnymost.com.
Realdonnymost.com?
Yep, that's it.
So, Donny, first of all, I personally want to thank you because you don't know what you did for me personally. Even meeting you and again, getting to hug you, and I just love you. And thank you, thank you. You don't know what you did for me here. All the Petito cousins are going crazy. They're going to want my autograph soon, okay, because of this, okay? Come on. So I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. And again, Rick Shepard for the connection. I mean, this is amazing. So I love you. I know you want to say something to him.
It was an absolute pleasure.
Gosh. And Debbie.
To be with both of you.
Thank you. And Debbie Meadow especially. I mean, I love her too. Thank you for this connection, guys. What do you want to say?
I just want to thank you for, keeping us laughing, having fun with Happy Days and just, growing up as a teen and watching Happy Days and enjoying it. I mean, again, still one of the best shows on TV. Like you said, family friendly. And you know what's funny about that? I'll just say real quick. Family friendly, that's what my radio station is, and that's why I made it family friendly from the Happy Days. Because when my girls were growing up, they said, Dad, there's no places we can listen other than Disney. And I'm like, yeah, well, they're playing a lot of garbage. I want you to hear, the greats like Elvis and Frank Sinatra. And that's why I started that 27 years ago, because I guess maybe you had something to do with that. You're a bunch of people in Happy Days created that family-friendly environment for me and for other families, because I had people reaching out to me after I started the radio station like, wait a minute, your station doesn't play any bad stuff? I said, no, but your kids can listen, your grandparents can listen, your aunts and uncles can listen, your mom and dad can listen, and here we are today.
Come on. Ruben,
come say hi.
He'll stand right here.
Well,
oh, there you go.
That's great.
Say hi. He wants to get in the middle. He don't want to be near just you.
Okay, go ahead.
He's got his
I
mic.
don't want to be next to neither of them.
Okay, there you go. So remember that you met him.
Hey, Donny. What's up, dude? Hey, thanks for the free lunch. Backstage. Your music is awesome. And I just have one question. I know I'm digressing from this.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, make it quick. He's got to go.
Don't rush the man. Look at her. I just have one question on the Happy Days. When you started,
Sure.
when you first started in the first season, were you just recurring role, and then you became part of the, I guess the right word to say, part of the cast more frequently?
One of the regulars. Yeah, I was. I was originally in that first season guaranteed like 10 out of 13 episodes. And in the beginning, my character was more on the periphery. You know, he was kind of the wise guy, had a cool car. But then as it developed more and more, my character then became more of, more connected with Richie and Potsy. And then then it became more integral to the show.
Oh, okay. Because the reason I asked that question, because I've, I watched a lot of the Happy Days, especially on Pluto, and I noticed that there was a scene where Ralph and Potsy buy a car, and you're kind of not like in the scene as much with them. I mean, you're in the red car with all the girls.
Yeah, Richie and Potsy buy the car, right?
Yeah, they bought the used car together, and you're like there, but occasionally, especially when you're at Al's. And I know you rolled in with the red car, and the girls are around you and everything, and they're sitting in the car because the car doesn't start, and they don't, and you drive off.
Right.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Yeah, well, that was in that first season when I was originally going to be more of a sort of a counterpoint to Richie and but then it changed, it evolved.
Amazing. That's awesome. Yeah, I was just really curious about that.
Great question.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sandy, did you want to say hello real quick?
Yeah,
All right,
you
give
go,
Sandy
Sandy.
a mic. Thank you, babes.
You're welcome.
Ruben's awesome. He's the one
Awesome.
doing this show here tonight, guys.
It's really great
Good to
to
see you,
meet
Don.
you. Really great to meet you.
Aw.
I loved Happy
Let's see you,
Days
Ruben.
growing up.
You too, Donnie. Great.
Talk closer to the microphone.
Aw.
Yeah,
That was
it's an honor to
Thank
meet
you.
you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and again, I want to say, just
I
thank you
appreciate
for
that.
such a great show that you was in, that got me through my hard times. I looked forward to watching it every Tuesday night, and laughing, and it was just great. I still love it today.
Oh, thank you. Love hearing so much. Thank you. And I've heard that from people surprisingly more than you think. How the show helped them through some tough times.
You're right about that.
Yeah,
You're right about that.
it was, when I'd meet people at personal appearances, I hear that a lot,
Crazy.
and it really affected me and when we, because we don't realize what's going on. You're doing the show in an isolated stage, and you can't grasp how many people it's reached.
You're right.
And like you said, all the individual stories that are going on, including tough times.
Amazing. Amazing. Thank you, Sandy.
Okay.
Well, Donnie, we love you.
Thanks, Sandy.
We love you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
From the bottom
Thank
of my
you.
heart.
Thank you so.
Oh my gosh, so honored.
Really enjoyed it, and we'll do it again.
Oh, please. Okay, you heard that, guys. We're doing it again. Ruben, take us out. Thank you, Donnie.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Geri Petito.
I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. And in time too shall pass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Geri Petito taught the class. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Loves the answer, the greener grass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. One day at a time, free at last.
When you don't know just what to do.
Just what to do, just what to do.
If what you're feeling is really true.
Is really true, is it really true?
Just keep your ideas safe and sound.
Safe and sound, safe and sound.
That's exactly how change is found.
Change is found, change is found. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. And in time, this too shall pass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Geri Petito taught the class. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Loves the answer, the greener grass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. One day at a time, free at last.